I show you how I made an easy kimono so I could use for my cosplays without having to do all the extra work of a real kimono and still having fun with my cosplays. Today I am finishing that project and this is going to become my Hanako cosplay.
Sure. Yeah, Miko. Yeah. I meant Yako.
If you don't know Hanako, she's a kitsune, which is the same as saying like a fox spirit from the anime Toilet Bound Hanako Kun, which is an anime that I love and I think it's getting a new season very soon. I have already made Yashiro Nene and I would actually like to make more characters from this series because if you haven't watched it, it's amazing. And one of the things that I like the most about this anime is all the colorful characters and all the colorful world of the undead because everything is so lively. It's basically the corpse bride of anime. I will not go into much detail on the construction of any of these pieces because I have already made a couple of videos about kimono garments and this is pretty much the same. I'm just simplifying a few parts. And also, if you are interested, all of the patterns with full instructions will be linked in the description. Let's get ready and finish this Yako cosplay. As I mentioned, I already have a video making the kimono, so I am going to start by making the obi, which is the piece around the waist. I simply cut together and sew two pieces of cotton to create the front of the sash. And I use some of the leftovers to also create a lining. I also have a video explaining how to make an easy obi, so I will link it somewhere so you can watch it if you need some more details. For the apron, I cut an oval shape and several rectangles for the waistband and ruffles. I decided to use my pinking shears to finish the edges because it looked more accurate to the reference. This also saves me the time of having to do the borders and having to hem all those edges, so it's pretty quick. And I use my ruffling foot to gather the top evenly and quickly. Honestly, it's one of my favorite ever add-ons to your machine. I attached the ruffle to the edge of the apron and I also decided to hide all the raw edges by lining the piece. I made a couple of pleats at the front of the apron just to make sure it looked better when it was worn, and with the top edge encased in the waistband, it was time to sew it all together and add the sides with some ribbon. So, the kimono is almost ready, but before I can attach the collar and just finish it completely, I think it's a good idea to just add some decor right now because otherwise it's going to be more difficult. And I'm going to be using this technique. This is called DTF and basically you just print the actual drawing that you want with the colors that you want. It has several colors and you stamp it directly in the fabric, so it is a great way of doing it when you have like several colors and you don't want to use or you don't have a cutting machine. It's a little bit pricey if you're just doing small things like this, but it just saves so much time. It's definitely cheaper than buying a machine if you don't want it. So now I can just figure out where I want to put the flowers for this. I think it's gonna be around there. I just wanted to make sure I had these pieces ready beforehand, just in case I put the flower too low and it wouldn't show. But yeah, I think that is about the right position. So I'm just gonna attach this flower and then attach the ones to the collar, and I can finally finish the actual kimono.
I probably should mention you can't really get these transfers made at home, so you are going to need to find a shop that sells this type of special print, which is particularly used to make garments. You will also need a heat press to attach them, but I think you can use an iron if you just try very hard. I just happen to have it, so it's what I'm going to be using. And if you want to know more about the exact settings and my process, you can also get all that information in my Patreon, but feel free to research online because there's a lot of people using this technique at the moment. Once the transfers were fully attached, it was time to finish the kimono and move on to the Haori jacket. Fortunately, I keep all my old patterns in a folder so I can reuse them whenever I need them.
I actually want this pattern to be done very quickly as well, and this originally is meant to be folded inwards and sewn with a very big seam allowance because it's supposed to be sewn by hand, but I cannot be bothered and that's totally okay. So I'm just gonna not follow my own advice and find the line of my actual what is it called? That's my size. Oh, I have a terrible cold right now, so I can't even think. But yeah, this is my size, so I'm just gonna give it maybe this much seam allowance. So simply I'm gonna cut it folding this piece over here a little bit narrower, and that should be really the only thing I have to do to make it just a normal pattern with seam allowances. Easy peasy.
Instead of creating a traditional garment, I decided to fake a few pieces like the under sleeves to save some time. Unfortunately, my white fabric was see-through, so I decided to line all my pieces before I inserted the fake sleeves, which I cut slightly wider so they would naturally poke underneath the haori and make it look like there was this other layer of fabric underneath. It was also at this point when I started to feel worse and I had to pause the project for a while.
I've been off for about a week, and honestly, even if it had been just the one day, this is what I find whenever I go back to the studio to sew something. Just look at this. Look at all this hair. It's all creased. Honestly, I know who it was. Yeah, don't you go and try to run away? Oh, there you go. This is exactly what happened. Is this a reenactment? Of course it is. It was you? Or was it your sister? Who was it? Who was it? That's my proof.
After I removed all the hair and ironed the sleeves yet again, it was time to finally carry on working.
That's the one I just ironed.
I figured out the best length for my jacket and folded the edges upwards to get most of that fabric hidden inside the haori. And I also decided my cosplay would look super cool if I were to use this colorful lining full of foxes, because it was super cute and it would help me hide all the edges and everything was going to be perfect. This is where everything went a little bit to hell.
The reason why I don't usually just do things very quickly without measuring and just like go with the vibes is because the chances of you messing up are quite high. So yeah, I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna cut this piece of fabric and put it on there and it's gonna be my lining. And I just cut it too short. Like, honestly, it was just the right amount of fabric and now I cut it too short. And I totally forgot to add the sides for your arms. Yeah, I mean, so much for going quickly and just going faster. So yeah, maybe don't do so many shortcuts if you can just like stick to the normal process, because there's a reason for that. So now I'm just gonna see if I can move this cat and, you know, I'll figure it out. Just gonna have a few seams on the back that weren't supposed to be there, but we'll do something. Yeah, definitely we'll do something.
At this point, I could only try my best to adjust my fabric as best as I could and pray for the best. I honestly couldn't even tell you what I was doing because I don't even know how I fixed it, okay? I just measured the things that I should have cut and created new cuts and just sew other parts and just like, I don't know, okay, I just made it fit somehow. It would have been so much easier just to cut the lining like normal pieces and just attach it normally. Just very tiring, as my cat demonstrates here, but it's fine, it's okay. And as I had messed up my lining so much, I decided to chill for a little bit and just hand sew the rest to make sure I didn't make any other mistakes. And I just kept sewing and I did a little bit more sewing until I eventually finished it. The only details missing were the gloves and the ears, and as I wanted to finish quickly, I just bought a pair of cotton gloves and added some trim from my stash. For the ears, I simply cut some pieces of white foam, heated them in shape, and painted them with acrylics, and my cosplay was completely ready, finally. And many weeks later, it was finally time for the reveal. I am glad I finished this project. It was a bit different from my previous one, as I wasn't so focused on a perfect final result, and it was just fun to make something just because I wanted to. Yes, it may not be perfect, the lighting may not be completely well aligned, but I really like it, and that's all you need to make cosplays. Thank you so much to the patrons that support me and feed my cats, and honestly, I love hanging with you around. The new Discord chat is also open if you want to join, so make sure to check it out because you can become a member completely for free. Let me know if you would like to see more videos with this style in which I don't go as detailed, telling you every single step in the process and just going with the flow and showing you how I made it and how I just solved some of the issues with my cosplays. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you in the next adventure. Bye!
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop.
Welcome to Cosplayland. I am Alice, and today I am finished my Hanako cosplay. Oh my god. Last week, it wasn't even last week. Welcome to Cosplayland. I am Alice, and I really cannot talk anymore. This is horrible. Nearly. Melina. So, can you sit there so you can just hit press that for me? Just sit here. Yeah, sit here. These helpers.